It feels like you're in the city in Japan. And oh my gosh, it feels so nice. Like,
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Taya and this is my husband Laekan, and we are on the island of Wabi Sabi, our Japanese city core / cyberpunk island. And my half is the Japanese city side and Laekan's half.
Well, yeah, it was my half, okay?
What he's trying to say is he has abandoned our island, but not entirely. He still has a vested interest in this island, and I still want to create it as an island that you would truly enjoy, because then even maybe you might feel like you want to play it a little bit.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
He has a lot of other projects going on right now, things that he's passionate about.
And a lot of excuses. All right? I know what everyone's thinking. And yes, you're all right. You are 100% right. I take full accountability for the fact that I didn't hold up my end of the bargain, okay? And I'm sorry, Taya, okay?
Hand me the keys.
Okay, here.
Yeah.
Ching.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now I have the keys to Sabi, and I am going to create a beautiful alleyway neighborhood cyberpunk with a bar as well. We will show Laekan at the very end, see what you think.
I'm excited. Let's do it!
And Laekan also provided me with a lot more inspiration images for me to work from, so I'm very excited. As soon as I press A, we're going to see the final build. Are you ready?
I am. I'm very, very excited to see this.
Okay, let's see it. So let's get into it. It's terraforming time. So the plan for this area was that it's going to be a cyberpunk alleyway / neighborhood. So I wanted to give a little bit more dimension, a little bit more height to this build. Originally, I thought that if you want to do an alleyway, you gotta have it be like 2 levels high or 3 levels high. You know, I had to go up to the 3rd level of terraforming, but I ended up just going 2 levels up and making 2 separate areas of terraforming. So the area that I'm working on right now is going to be where Kabuki's house is, and it's going to have like a little cyberpunk bar kind of club atmosphere. I will end up redoing Kabuki's house in the end because his style of house doesn't really suit the whole bar club atmosphere, but I figure that Kabuki is like a Japanese kind of performance art, and I would think that Kabuki would also be interested in having like kind of a more laid back entertainment atmosphere on this cyberpunk island. So we're fast forwarding through a little bit of terraforming here. You get the gist of it. We needed to create these giant blocks of terraforming. And I also wanted to mark out exactly where I wanted Kabuki's house to be. I wanted it to be off-centered from where Doc's house is behind. So I put him right in the corner of this terraforming so that we can make a little bar surrounding his house. And then I moved on to another area of terraforming. I am standing on the outline for where Frida's house will go. Frida won't always be on this side of the island, but we have an unbalanced proportion of gals to girls, but that's the same thing, of guys to gals on this island right now. So once we get our jock villager will go in this place over here, and then I'm building up this terraforming, and on this one will be Bruce, and I think Bruce is the ideal candidate to run our arcade on Wabi Sabi. So I'm just checking in with the terraforming, realizing I have to make this chunk quite a bit bigger. The arcade is going to be a major feature on this island, so let's fast forward through getting all of this organized. I had to actually get some flowers taken care of as well. But it was really super refreshing to be able to go back to terraforming and to work on a theme that I have never worked on before. It was really cool as well. So I overall really enjoyed this whole process. It did take me a long time to make this entire alleyway neighborhood. It took me about 4 hours. That's not including the 10 trips that I made to Treasure Islands, the 1 order bot order that I put in. It was a lot, but I'm overall extremely happy with the outcome, so it was well worth the time. And I'm climbing up to check it out, and we're gonna put in Bruce's plot right now as well. I think Bruce is so cool, and I'm actually super happy that we have two Crankies on this side of the island. It makes sense. The Crankies kind of have more of that cyberpunk vibe. We might even have a lot more Crankies than other kinds of villagers because the lazies kind of all look like little babies. They don't really fit with the whole cyberpunk vibe, but Hornsby is definitely the ideal lazy villager for this island. So I had to log in with Laekan's account to put his house on the beach, and that was all I needed his character for. So there's his little cameo in game, and it's back to me now. And I'm seeing Bruce's house is all set up. I'm getting an incline up to Kabuki's house, and then I'm also getting Kabuki's house set up as well. On the Wabi side so far, on my Japanese city side of this island, I've been using the blue steel staircases and the blue iron bridge. And I think on this side, I'm going to try to use the red steel staircase and the red Zen bridge to give it a little bit of a different vibe, kind of a daytime, nighttime thing. I know at the entrance, I also have a red Zen bridge, but I might end up changing that to just the plain wood Zen bridge in the future. And once I had that incline set up, I realized that this house, Cephalobot's house, was very close to the incline. I didn't really like how that was laid out, so I ended up moving it up and back. Up and to the right slightly so that we would have a little bit more room, but I still wanted this to feel quite cramped. And when I actually had everybody's houses in, I debated how close I had put Cephalobot's house to the house behind him, but I think that that's actually really neat to have them feel very compact, very crowded. It really lends itself to that kind of like alleyway look. So we're on the next day. I have another red steel staircase going back here, and also Cephalobot's house I put in front over here. I mean, this part alone already took a long time because I was time traveling and getting everybody's house put in place, but it's well worth it to do it all in one shot. Then I feel like I have this established neighborhood. There is a touch of lag already once I finish putting in all of these items, but I think that's to be expected when you're doing a city island. And the Sabi side is going to have some areas that are more spread out. I was really pleasantly surprised when I looked through Laekan's inspiration Pinterest board that he sent to me, and there was some natural areas, which is very interesting, kind of a cyberpunk forest that he has planned as well. So I am very excited that I get to execute this vision that he has for his side of the island. It's still going to be, in my mind, Laekan's side of the island, and I would like to do some builds with him sitting beside me so that we can like plan it out together. But for now, I am really excited to take over, and he can just enjoy the final look, and he can play on it whenever he wants and have like a cyberpunk look on his side of the island. I'm just going in with pathing now, and I know that I said I wasn't going to do any diagonal sections on this island, but I just felt like the alleyway would look so amazing with a diagonal section of path, and I realized that it was only 2 extra paths that I had to download from my original road, so it really wasn't that much more to download those pieces, and now I can build roads that have that angle to them. I just got a couple more. And I'm putting down this stone pathway all over this kind of club area up here, this bar. But the road I'm just leaving as a road strip, if that makes sense. This is only so that it shows on the map because I will end up covering over all of this in the end. But I just like the clean look of having everything showing on the map. Really nice. And now I'm starting in with the custom designs and building out the road, which was really fun actually. It was very time consuming, but this is something that you can do this build in chunks. Like if you're building and you just feel like, oh, I'm gonna set out the path today, then I'm gonna start with the items tomorrow, it kind of breaks it down into digestible chunks and gives you a second to really think about your design, to do some planning on it. So I really enjoyed creating this diagonal section of road, and I think it adds a lot to the alleyway look in the end. Speaking of the end, I love how this neighborhood ends off with Nook's Cranny in the back, and we do start to decorate a little bit around Nook's Cranny at the end of this build. I really wanted this first build that I would be showing Laekan to be like a showstopper, and all the other builds going forward might be a little bit smaller, but I really wanted to knock out an entire neighborhood. We will see a little bit later on. I do give some sneak peeks onto the way that the wabi side is going on this island, Japanese city, and it's looking a lot more rural than I thought it would be. And I'm really considering doing like a rice paddy on that side and making it feel like a very small rural Japanese town. Like that side is like very rural, and this side will be very like city, like kind of grungy, neon, definitely best viewed at nighttime, which is interesting that I did this build during the day, but the final reveal will actually be set in the nighttime. And I didn't do any like little spoiler shots at the beginning of this video because I think that the final impact of it is really something special, and I wanted to have that be like completely pure. But let's speed through the rest of this pathing because it did take me quite a while, and I'm basically just filling in the rest with sidewalk. I did want you to see me laying out the road because sometimes that can be a little bit mysterious, but for the most part, I just put some cracks in. And now it's time for decorating, and I did start with the bar. And in this video, I hope you like the editing because I spent a lot of time cutting out all of my wishy-washy-ness because this did take me 4 hours to record this base decorating time, and I did want to keep it all in real time for the most part so that you would see the actual process of what I'm going through. And I didn't really have a whole lot of waffling about with items. I did include some of it, but I wanted to cut out all of me scanning through my inventory and picking up the one item and putting it back down and picking it up and moving it around and then changing it all together. So it's very like straightforward what I've done here. I love this backdrop for the like bar area. I think that it's grungy, but it also has like a homey kind of feel that has a Japanese aesthetic somehow. I love this diner counter against the ice counter as well because the ice counter glows at night, so I think it's super fun. I just put a couple stools, and that table won't end up staying there, but I just put that in for now. This is where it gets a little bit complicated. I did put in a fence all the way around, and then I wanted to make like a box sofa seating area there on the bottom left. I spent a lot of time trying to get this bar right because I know that that's one of the like cyberpunk features that's really prominent. Like if you watch cyberpunk kind of movies and animes, there's always like bar scenes and like little pub cozy nooks where like shady people are doing their business and stuff like that. So I really wanted this to feel like not shady, but kind of shady. And I'm taking down the fence so that I can put in a frozen pillar on the corner, and we're finally starting to decorate the actual alleyway. The blue transportation stop didn't really work here, but all of these items definitely make their way back into this area even if they're not the permanent items. And I like the pacing of this editing. Thank you, Pasteur, for putting in the time to remove all of my decision making. I love this glowing moss balloon, and the color is so cool, but I think that it's more of a natural item actually. So I think when I do make that like cyberpunk forest area, I'm gonna have a lot of the glowing moss items. And this seating area is so cozy, like honestly, so cozy. Even though it's all very like leather, I can totally see just like chilling here, some music going, super classy, but also very, very relaxing. The boxy stool, that item is pure gold. Like look at all these 2.0 items mixing with 1.0 items. I am obsessed. And I think we're getting to a point in Animal Crossing where these items are not feeling like 1.0 and 2.0. They're able to like work in harmony together, and it doesn't have to be like all 2.0 items or all 1.0 items. It's a mix, which I am obsessed with, and I think we're gonna start to get those islands, and I think we've already started seeing them that are like the perfect blending of all of these different items. Floor lights, we're gonna need a lot on this side of the island, and I really love the red ones, especially in this build. And I wanted to incorporate a lot more of the plain party lights arch, but it didn't have a whole lot of places that it really worked. I am obsessed with these stadium lights in this side of the island. I think that they're so impactful and they're so bright at night, and they're tall, like they're really tall. So I end up adding actually some behind Cephalobot's house as well. And I'm just decorating around Cephalobot's house. I had a little bit of trouble on the right-hand side, but I think that's because it's against all the rest of the island. It's just grass at this point. And these curved street lights, we're bringing them back for this side. And I think I'm going to just use black street lights on both sides of the island because it really does have that Japanese flavor. I don't know why, but this is Frida's house. As I was saying earlier, she is a sisterly villager, so she won't be staying on this island because I already have Tammy on my girl side, but we're a little bit short-handed for girls, and I thought Frida's gonna be the next one that's gonna go and be replaced by a jock villager. I really want Snake for the jock villager on this cyberpunk side. I was not able to fully convince Laekan, but I think because I have his amiibo card, I will just amiibo in Snake, and then and I think he'll like him. He's a jock villager. I think he would look perfect in this little nook over here. And I'm definitely going to keep working on these areas for sure, because I specifically Doc's house, which is on the left there, and Frida's house for now, which will be Snake's house eventually. They're a little bit plain. Like, I didn't really have a theme fully for them, so I just decorated them with general kind of cyberpunk feeling refuse. Like, I used more cardboard boxes and trucks and cars around them to just kind of give them like a grungy vibe. But I think I'll probably keep Doc's house looking more like a shipping area, and then I might make like a rough, like some kind of weight situation around the jock villager's house, because I think that that also fits in. Maybe it would be a gym, actually, a full-on gym, and I can decorate the inside of it. Speaking of which, I'm so behind on Happy Home Paradise. I really need to like start working on that more on this island. I don't think I have even started on this island. It's super upsetting. The Happy Home Paradise resets itself when you start a new island. I don't know how I'm going to restart Alexandria because I'm so happy with Happy Home Paradise at this point. I'm definitely going to have to do a full tour through Happy Home Paradise for my own documentation and like sanity's sake, because there's some builds there that I definitely don't want to forget about, and maybe some builds that I could just recreate on this island as well, and just keep my same Happy Home Paradise builds going from one island to the next. But that's a lot of work too. As you saw, I put a little food stall there on the left side, which I think is really fun to have it kind of like poking out into the road. And I wanted a lot of illuminated items. That was the main goal that I was going for when I was building out this whole area. So anytime that I could add in lights or an item that just naturally had some kind of a glow on it, like the snack machines and that kind of thing, I definitely took advantage of that. And even still, building it in the day was probably not the best call. I do end up going back in at night and making some final adjustments. And I think whenever I do work on this side of the island from now on, I will work at night so that I can see how all of the illuminated items are working. And that's really the end goal for this island as well, is to have the Sabi side look really good at night and the Wabi side look really good in the daytime. I'm not sure exactly when I will set the dream address, probably in like the evening, so that if you're touring it, you can like tour the Wabi side first, and then by the time you get to the Sabi side, you're kind of in the early evening, because time still does pass in a dream address. So I think that I'm going to place it like right at golden hour, which is also just a great time in general in the game. And I've never ever set a dream address at that time. I probably should have set my tropical island, like my jungle core island, to the evening because it just makes all of the colors look so beautiful. But that's definitely something that I want to keep in mind for dream addresses going forward, is what time of day. But I love the cherry blossoms floating through this area. It kind of makes it feel like there's just a lot more going on in the builds when you have these little cherry blossoms fluttering by. And I'm not really sure what final dream address time will be for this island either, but we're really far away from that. I don't know why I'm getting caught up on final dream addresses yet, but I put this little utility pole in there, and then I was testing to see if you could still run up the stairs with that little cafe sign too, but you definitely can. It doesn't block you from going up that staircase at all. And we're starting to get closer to Nook's Cranny, and this is actually one of my favorite parts of the build. Back here, I put these, what are they called? Display cases, large display cases with televisions and boxes with televisions, and I even used the reception counter in a customization that I thought would be perfect for the sobby side of the island. And I'm so happy with how this little collection of items came out. And I think Laekan really liked this little grouping of items as well, because it really feels like it blocks off the front of Nook's Cranny and makes it feel more like an enclosed nook too. At night, the light in the front here with the televisions looks very cold, and then the light of Nook's Cranny is very warm, so you get that contrast too. I'm loving decorating Cyberpunk already. Just one build in and I'm like really feeling it. And that's kind of fun too, because I have 2 switches, but even still with 2 switches, sometimes you get tired of building with one aesthetic and you want to move to a different aesthetic. So I think in the future, going forward, dividing my islands between a bunch of different aesthetics, or not being as strict to say I need to have this one aesthetic pure and simple on this island, and being more flexible with adding multiples if I have the custom design slots for it. I think that that's a lot better of a plan going forward. And we're really getting close to the end of this. I ended up just putting in some final details. We decorate a little bit more in front of Nook's Cranny on this side with basically the same kinds of items, televisions, boxes, and another snack machine over here as well. Utility pole in the back. Shove it all around. Have to move so many items to just get it organized here. There you go. There it is. And I don't know why I didn't just pick up this trash can, but I thought it was faster just shimmy it all the way over. Had to turn on the televisions. Turn on that other television. Thank you. And the box goes back, and I put a little tape deck here as well. And I think music is going to be really cool on this side of the island. I'm going to try to decorate using more music. I need to get a lot more albums, but I'm getting excited again about this island. And that was it for day 1 of this build. Almost done, but I had to go to an order bot to get some scattered papers and leaf piles, and also some floor lights and garbage bags, like trash bags as well. It was mostly scattered papers and leaf piles. Oh, an ATM to add there as well. And I got it set up for the final reveal. As soon as I press A, we're gonna see the final build. Are you ready?
I am. I'm very, very excited to see this.
Okay, let's see it.
Oh my gosh.
Do you love it? Oh, you got goosebumps? That's so nice.
That is freaking cool. That's exactly what I envisioned.
That's awesome.
It feels like, it feels cyberpunky. It feels like you're in the city in Japan. And oh my gosh, it feels so nice. Like,
so let me show you around a little bit.
wow. That feels really good.
This is resident services right over here. And you walk up, and we have our first house, which this is Cephalobot's house.
Yeah, I love how you covered the front of it to give it a whole different feeling. Yeah, that door is crazy.
And then up here, there is an incline, and this is the bar.
Wow.
I need to add some items onto these like tables, like a glass or something over here and a light on this or something.
It feels like it's not quite there, but it feels like there's something happening.
I think also once I customize this villager's house, it will make a big difference.
Yeah, probably. But that's cool. I can imagine sitting there after a long day, just having some music in the background, having your favorite drink, whatever that might be.
Yep.
And enjoying the peaceful night and the breeze.
We've been cooped up for too long. And then you come down, of course, to this little alleyway. And to the right here, we have this villager won't be here forever, but it's Frida's house. And back here...
That is so cool. I love these signs. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's a
Fluorescent
neon
one.
diner
Neon.
sign.
Yeah, that is so cool. That's a good use of that.
Yes. I like this little jukebox here too. I put a couple of them around to give some light.
Yeah.
And this is another villager house back here behind the pub, which is more like store. It's like boxes and storage.
I love the feel of that, of the boxes like that, and
Yes.
those patio lanterns or whatever.
Yes. Up here is going to be where the arcade will be eventually. But I didn't have time to do it in this build and still have time to edit this video for tomorrow. So yeah. And then we have Doc's house. And then continuing back here is Nook's Cranny.
Oh, that's funny. There's an anime playing on the TV.
It's like a game show.
Yeah, it has that anime style.
It does.
So it goes with the whole like Japan vibe.
So that is the first build of your side of the island.
That's an amazing start.
You like my outfit?
Yeah, you look like a little anime character.
Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let us know in the comments below what you think, and we will see you all in the next one. Bye, everybody!
Bye. It's like they have so many cool things. Like they just overlap lights
Yes.
and signs and things all over. Like when you look at a picture, it's just like they just overlap it because it's just flooded with so many cool things
Yeah.
on top of each other. You can't even like, your brain can't pick it all up.
Exactly.
And anyways, from this, I like this perspective. You can see like that kind of, you can start to get a feel like that. Because it doesn't have to look like that. It just feels like that, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. So.